Okay, so now we're going to talk about problems that happen with closures. But first, let's discuss. We're going to discuss classes and structs and their relation to closures. And classes are by reference, structs are by value. So what that means is that when a class, when a property, when a class is set, when a class object is set, um, it references the property or the object that set it. Whereas structs, they're done by value, which means that when you set another variable or property, if you set it with an object, that's just a copy. You're like, oh, what does this mean? What is the result is we got to worry about um inadvertently setting values, and then later on down the line, those values get changed when we least expect it. And that's what happens sometimes in a project, years down the line, enterprise level, lots of code base, and values are being changed someplace where we didn't expect it because of it was set by reference. It's a class, but the reality is closures can make structs behave in that way to a certain extent as well. And I'm going to demonstrate that right now. So, first of all, let me explain to you. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show an example of what happens when a class sets a value versus a struct setting a value. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just create an enum. This enum is going to help. This enum is for the purpose of expediting this. I'm going to create a very simple object. It's only going to have two properties. Okay. Now I want you to follow me. Okay. So, right, enum model, and case Russ. So, I'm going to create an object of Lamborghini. I'm going to create a bunch of Lamborghini objects, right? Because I like Lamborghini. I cannot afford one. Or can I'm probably spelling them wrong, right? Hurricane, Ventador, Gallardo case, Gallardo, um, and the Cyan case, SIAN, right? So this is our enum, and now I need to create a class, Lamborghini, Lamborghini, class Lamborghini. Um, and so I'm gonna start with make, and I'm gonna make this a constant, right? Make is of type string, and of course our make is always Lamborghini. Our make is always our model is of type model. Okay, our model is of type model. Okay, and so now I need to create an initializer because it's a class. With classes, you always have to create an initializer. With structs, the initializer is inferred. Okay, and I'm gonna say model of type model. Okay, and then I set this self dot model equals model. Okay. So now I have that initializer is done, right? Hmm. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like these preferences. Oh my God. 14. Done. The default light. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the default settings. So I'm gonna make that 14 and I'm just gonna keep it like that. I'm sorry, people. All right, here we go. Um Actually, let me do this real quick. Um, so default dark. Okay, that's more like it. All right. Sorry for the detour. So now we have this, right? Now we're gonna make a variable. I want you to check out what happens. Var old car equals Lamborghini. And of course, we only have one model. I'm gonna make this Lamborghini Aventador. Okay. Var new car. Why the heck? New car equals old car, right? Now I'm going to say new car. I'm setting new car dot model equals a hurricane, right? Check this out. Let's print out old car dot model and new car dot model. You notice they're both hurricane, right? But I set this to Aventador. You know why? Because when I set new car, guess what? It sets the value of the thing that set it, the old car. So I wasn't just setting new car, I was setting both of them, right? That's reference. It's still referencing the object that set it, right? Seeing, right? Now I'm gonna take this all, I'm gonna undo this real quick. And I'm not gonna undo this. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make this a struct. By the way, sorry about that. As a struct, this is pretty much almost acting the same, right? Right? Wrong. And by the way, let me explain something else. The struct, you don't need the initializer. You do with a class. Now, as you notice, this is a copy. I was able to set the new car, but the old car remained the same. That's the difference between a struct and a class. Okay? No reference. This is a copy, right? When I make this a class, it's referencing old car, right? but this is just a copy now, not a direct link, if that makes sense. And that's the difference between struct and class. You know, that being said, now here's where things get tricky. It would seem like, well, if you wanted to avoid reference problems or inadvertently changing the value of an object that's seemingly unrelated, then don't use classes. Well, it's not always the case. Okay. So let me get rid of all this. Okay. I have a different example, right? Check it out. Struct R, right? Speed float 0.0, right? And then okay, and this one is a closure. It doesn't accept the parameter or return a parameter. And it is optional. Okay. That's all to our object, our struct, right? Our struct that supposedly is not going to give us any problems. So now I create var my car equals car. Um and increase speed. I'm setting in my car dot speed inside this closure, right? 30. Okay. So now we can do this. Speed. Okay, so I'll make this optional. Okay. We talked about optionals in another video. Okay. Print my car's speed. My car dot speed. It's 30, right? My car dot increase speed. Jesus Christ. Okay. And I'm going to say print my car speed, CV. So you see, now it's 90, 30, plus 60, 90. It increased the speed, right? But Okay, so now my new car. Now we're gonna say, sorry. Oh, sorry. Um, Now my new car dot increase speed. My new car dot increase speed. Right. But then if we want to print the speed, my new car dot speed is still 90, right? It hasn't moved up, even though, so if I go back here and remove this, it'll be 30, even though I've increased the speed. I've increased the speed and it still hasn't moved up. Um, yeah, that's because that's a problem with structs. And so it's something to be aware of. Later on, we're gonna talk about strong references and weak references and unowned and capture lists. But this is just to make you um, kind of familiarize yourself with some of the issues that can arise with references, classes, and using closures. So on to the next.